This is not for the weak. Just because I booked a major role or I've booked a lot of things does not mean that I have to not fight for my other roles in the room.
From LaGuardia High School to Hampton University to now, this woman has a lot going on. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with Ashley Olivia Fisher, an actress from Queens, New York, to discuss her journey. Thank you for joining us, Ashley.
Oh, thank you for having me. Long time no see.
I know. So we're going to talk about that. So let's dive right into the journey. How did you get started in acting?
So in junior high school, there was this pamphlet that was going out for this acting school. And I told my mom, I was like, brought it home. I was like, I think I really want to do it. Because growing up, I always, when I was younger than 11, I always was like talking to myself with my dolls. I wrote scripts with my sister. I would perform with my sister and my cousins. We would write a lot, like almost every year, every holiday season. And then I kind of just took it up on myself, like talking to dolls and coming up with my own imagination and storylines. So then when I saw that, I was like, I always knew I wanted to act. Like I always wanted to be on TV and stuff. So then I started there. And that started everything for me when I got exposed to the acting school. Those teachers told me about LaGuardia High School, Frank Sinatra, all these other wonderful high schools that I auditioned for. And then when I got into LaGuardia, well, from there, actually, I booked my first acting gig at 12, an off-Broadway play. I was young Madam C.J. Walker. And from then on, I was just like, I had the bug. So like, I had to continue doing theater. So then when I got into LaGuardia, it was like a dream come true. And then I kind of just, all my foundation just started from LaGuardia High School, truly, like actual formal training on a whole nother level. Getting exposed to that first theater gig of off-Broadway play, like exposed me to a lot. And it exposed my parents to a lot because they had no idea what to do with me. So I guess going to LaGuardia High School, from then on, it's just been my whole life in acting journey. It's just been all over the place, to be honest with you. And good things, ups and downs, but like good things.
The genres that you've done thus far include what?
Ooh. So I want to say The System, which was my first lead role. That was drama. That was pretty much drama.
So you got drama?
Yeah, I got drama down. I did a little comedy role like that of the best friend for this movie on Amazon Prime. It's called Hey Lover. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
I was like the best friend. So I was like the little funny, like down to earth best friend. So I was like keeping it real with her in there. So I think, but I think the whole premise of that, it got like suspenseful. But like for my role, I was just like keying as the homegirl and the best friend. And then Average Joe was just a little bit of everything. I did have some comedic lines and timing in there or, in the scene. Definitely had more drama towards the end of that show. And I definitely tapped into some action. So I did some stunts on that show, which exposed me to wanting to do more stunts.
She's a stunt woman.
Yes, because I had to do like a little fighting. We had to handle things with guns.
Ooh.
And the stunt crew there, they were like, "Oh, you're really good." And they were like, "You should think about, doing more movies with or acting roles where it requires you to do more because you have the body. You're picking up the choreography really well. Because stunts is really like choreography. It's dance movements. It's like a movement, like how they show you. It's all like almost like it's choreography.
Yeah.
So it's like
because you got to move a certain way because if somebody's doing like a fake punch,
exactly,
and you're here, it got to look like it's connecting.
It's like dancing. Yeah. So it's like it's really movement. So the way they show you, it's almost like it's like a body fly. It's like choreography. Yeah. So I was able to pick up on that really well. So I want to do more of those. And I recently just did a guest starring role on CBS for FBI, the show FBI. And, FBI, like Law and Order, all those premises of that show is like suspense. So I was more of a hardcore woman in there. I was like a wife that was defending her husband. I got interrogated. The cops, the FBI, ran through my house and everything, and I was like that strong, like
Black woman.
Yeah, like, not playing around. And I gave a tough exterior in the interrogation room. So that was a little different role for me in general. But I want to tap into so much. But I definitely think after Average Joe, like action and then some more comedy.
That's the lane you want to pursue?
I would love to win an Oscar. Like, this is down the line
You're going
of
to.
a drama and everything.
What is it, the EGOT?
Yes, I want
a Grammy,
I need
an
all
Oscar,
of that.
a Tony.
That's the goal. I want to get back on Broadway.
Can you sing?
I cannot sing. Listen, people ask me this all the time. I get asked this all the time. Can you sing? Can you sing? Can you sing? Because your voice sounds like you can sing. It
sounds like it could.
So here's the story with this. Because in LaGuardia, they used to think I was either vocal or dance, because I was the black girl. So not a lot of black girls are drama majors. But when I got exposed to LaGuardia, we had to take a musical theater class. So I had to start singing. So my teacher was always like, you have tone. Tonality is a thing. So some people are tone deaf, can't pick up the tune, can't get the key right. If I teach you, I know you can learn. You might not think you can sing, but your vocals can. So I recently just tapped into singing. Shout out to Steffi Bloom. Steffi Bloom, she went to Berkeley for singing. She's a great vocal coach. She taught me, like about 3 years ago, I started taking private lessons with her over like FaceTime. And my voice started to like, oh, you could do a little something, something, something.
I feel like anyone can be taught things.
Everything, anybody can really be taught. And then for me, I was always heard I have tonality. So they were just like, no, you're good. When she first heard me, she was like, oh, wow, I could work with you. Like, you could. So I'm going to work on that, because I feel like if I want to do more stuff, I'm not trying to be like no Jennifer Hudson now or anything like that.
But you need to be able to hold like a note. I need to
hold like a key and sing a little song or two. But when, they ask me to, I do get auditions where they're like, can you sing this chorus? And I'm like, I'm doing like vocal warm-ups for her and stuff like that. But I do need to get back into that. When I started shooting my show, I didn't take any more vocal lessons. Like, my life was just going all over the place.
It's always something to do.
Yeah, but I want to tap into that.
And you will?
I will. Thank you. You making me like go home and be like, girl, you got to get back into your
No, you got this. Are there any notable actresses, directors, or producers that you want to work with?
Yes.
Like who?
So, my idol is Regina King. I think she's like the epitome of grace, stature for us Black women, and just women in general. I mean, she showed me that she could do, like, when you see her resume, just the trajectory of what she does, it's really something else. It's something that a lot of these other actresses don't have. She can do theater. She can do television. She can do film. She directs now. Directing is difficult. She produces her own films and stuff. She's won the acting awards. She's played the ghetto homegirl from around the way to like being the lead in Watchmen on HBO and doing a whole action film, like, to winning her Oscars, to get, to be like directing that whole movie, The Port of Miami, where it was about, I mean, she's to even being the voice of one of the greatest shows ever made, The Boondocks. I mean, for our culture, she's literally the voice of those two boys. Like, no one knew that was a woman for two brothers. Like, she's everything, and I want to just meet her and like love on her and tell her how much she's inspired me. I don't see a lot of people doing what she's doing.
She's versatile.
Impeccable. I do want to work with Jordan Peele.
He did Get Out, right? Yeah,
I did. I recently auditioned for him. I didn't get the role, but
that's okay. You're gonna.
But
Jordan Peele, she's coming for you.
I'm gunning for you.
She's coming for you.
I really want to work with Jordan Peele.
Come on.
And then, of course, I want to do something with Zoe Saldana, because she's a Queens girl, and she's in one of the highest grossing films ever made.
Which
is? She's a girl from Queens. Avatar and the Marvel movies, The Guardians. And the fact that she's in both, I mean,
speaks volumes.
Speaks volumes, and she's just a regular Spanish girl from Queens, New York. So I just aspire to that because it's close to home, and I just love her work. I think she's super, super talented. So those are like people that come up in my head, like just pop up for me that I just feel like I want to like emulate. And
so Zoe Saldana,
yes,
Jordan Peele,
Regina King. Of course, I want to like deal with Viola Davis. I would love to work with other directors as well, like Steven Spielberg. I would love to do something before, you know, he just stops making movies in general. Like all these people are getting older.
Call her.
But I want to work with a lot of people. I definitely want to tap into all sorts of genres. I don't want to stick to one thing. Yeah. I don't.
Well, I definitely feel like you're on your way.
Thank you.
Which leads me to my next question. If you could talk to yourself at 18 years old, what would you tell 18 or even 19-year-old Ashley, you know, from where you are right now?
I would say, you know, I don't have anything to tell her differently because I think everything that happened in my life aligned in a certain way. And I don't want to tell my past anything to change the effects of how I got here today. So I graduated at 17, and then when I turned 18 that November, and I took a year off. And I think that was one of the most like eye-opening years for me because I really learned what the industry could do. But I think I would tell my 18-year-old self that you did it with such grace and you handled it very well and you stayed in tune with God, which I still have to this day. Because I feel like the foundation that I had from my parents, really, I wouldn't tell my 18-year-old self anything other than just keep doing what you're doing. Everything will happen. Everything's happening for a reason.
And at its course
at its time. I think during that year at 18, when I took that year off, I didn't want to go to college. I just wanted to blow up. I wanted like some random...
Doesn't everybody?
...blow up to happen for me. I wanted to book a gig where it was just like, my parents was like, oh, you off to Hollywood, you're in Vancouver shooting, you're in Australia shooting. And like college was just like, I was one of those actors that just never went to school, didn't get the PA type thing. Because the career was just happening for me and it didn't work out like that. But I think my 18-year-old self dealt with the mental strain of what this industry does, but I think I handled it really well. I had God in me, I had a great foundation. And then I told myself I'm still going to go back to school. So, and that's when I still went for Hampton that following time when I was, you know, started Hampton at 19. So I think I would tell myself, whatever you're doing it right. And everything is happening for a reason. I don't think I would want to change anything. I think I went through a mental hurdle during that time, you know, getting rejected from auditions, understanding what that meant. You know, I remember when I almost got this Broadwalk Empire role for HBO, and my dad took me all the way to the studio in Brooklyn, and I got to meet the producers, and I was dressed in the role, and I was all in it, and I was about to work with Michael, rest in peace to him, and I thought I was gonna book it, and I didn't, and I got so close to booking that, where my anticipation like overruled everything, and I felt like it just got swept under the rug for me. But it was just a great lesson I needed because I was at a pace in my life at 18, everything I auditioned for, I was almost booking. So I needed rejection. And then when rejection hit, just to understand what loss is and understand that I still could prevail, because I would audition, when you're younger, I feel like, especially at LaGuardia and leaving out, everything that I wanted, I booked. If I wanted LaGuardia, I booked it. If I wanted something during LaGuardia, I booked it. If I wanted something even a little bit after LaGuardia, I booked it. Like, I booked this theater gig with Rosario Dawson. I worked with her. Like, I booked it. Then when I started not to book,
like,
it was like, what's happening? Yeah. But I think my 18-year-old self went to God a lot, and I didn't even realize what I was doing. And I think it was just the foundation of my grandmother and my mom and my dad being so spiritual and God-fearing. I think I was going through mental hurdles, but the way I handled it, like in hindsight, looking back at myself, I was like, wow, I handled those mental things
Really
very well. So I would just say, Ash, just keep doing you. Like, you're doing a great job. And I'm glad I did everything the way I did it. So I wouldn't tell myself to do anything differently.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's one thing you wish more people understood about the acting profession that they don't?
That just because you see me outside in the media, on red carpets, I might do publicity here and there. This might look like glitz and glam. Behind closed doors, I still have to fight for that next role. Nobody made it yet. There's no make it until you get calls and offers like a Will Smith or a Viola Davis or you're never settling.
So you feel like you're always on eggshells in a sense?
Yes, you're still there. You're never this is not for the weak. Just because I booked a major role or I've booked a lot of things does not mean that I have to not fight for my other roles in the room. Just because I did these things doesn't mean I come in better than this other girl who probably didn't do anything at all or has done the masses. I'm still fighting against, my peers are insane. Some of the people I audition against who I don't know, but I know from when I see they get the bookings or the castings on the deadline articles, these are my peers I'm against. I'm against Zendaya's, I'm against Tiana Taylor's, I'm against Stormy Reed, we are auditioning for the same things. So you're never not done. So even when you get your Oscar I remember Angela Bassett said something after What's Love Got to Do with It, which she should have won her Oscar for. I love Angela Bassett. She should have won her Oscar for What's Love Got to Do with It. She didn't get called, and she was nominated for an Oscar. She didn't get called for another role for about 1.5 years.
Wow.
She didn't book anything. And also, there were literally no auditions for Black women. There were nothing. There was nothing. I think she had to go to minor theater stuff, but as far as movies, you would think, oh, I'm Oscar nominated now.
Everybody
I'm a Black
wants
woman.
me, yeah.
Even if they don't want you, at least there would be opportunities available to you. And at the time in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s and stuff, we were still fighting to even get roles. So I was just being born at the time, but these women, they paved such a way for me to be able to audition as much as I can because there weren't a lot of Black roles consistently. So just imagine that. You think that they made it, they got all the money at home, they're okay. No, the IRS got all our money and Uncle Tom got all of it. And we're still fighting for that next role.
Yeah.
So I'm never comfortable.
It's just important.
Which is important.
What do they say? You gotta stay ready to be ready?
Yes, that's why I'm always in the gym. That's why I'm always trying to work independently with my peers around me to do things. That's why I'm still going to do things like this with people because what I pour into others to help them is going to only, help me.
Come back to you.
So, yeah, I think that's what gets misconstrued a lot. Oh, she got it like that. No. I still have to audition and I still have to go get this money. So it's it's nothing settling, It's very uncertain what's next.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you handle criticism or negative feedback from one of your acting gigs? Have you ever gotten anybody saying she can't, No,
I have.
What do you do?
Actually recently, last summer when my show came out, somebody DM'd me and said, I just hate every time you come on screen because no Black daughter would be talking to their parents like this, and anytime you come on, I just fast forward it, or I just turn away till you're done, or something like that.
Why do you feel the need to say that?
Somebody DM'd me that, and I've gotten other stuff she can't really act or something like that.
How do you feel?
I've been doing this for such a long time, and I think me getting me knowing that every role I get is not going to appease everyone. What I do is fine, because some of even my greatest actors or actresses have done things that I'd be like, I didn't like how they do that or something. I think,
but that doesn't mean that you don't like them as an actress.
Exactly. I think you're always going to get critiqued, and I think it just comes with the territory. It's like telling, you know, LeBron James, you might be the greatest, but you'll never get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, he might hurt his shoulder, he might hurt his ankle, he might be out for the season. It just comes with it. So I think the more you sit with yourself and do the mental work to know that if this comes with it, don't let it bother you. It's easier said than done, but because I've been doing this for a long time, and because I've dealt with teachers who have criticized me, I've dealt with real training actors that were just like, okay, let's go back to this. I've dealt with like, oh, I thought I was doing good and this didn't look that good. My muscles are developed for it, mentally.
So you have thick skin.
Yeah, I'm still sensitive, but like, I'm not gonna let it bother me. It's part of the game. Like, when I'm a person that thinks like, if this is part of what could happen, I can't get mad about it.
True.
I can't give my energy towards it too fully. Like, it's like, you know, we take risk every day and could get criticized every day. Like, you know, somebody could say my hair don't look good in this video, or my lashes.
But you know, look good.
Like, right. But it's just like, I'm a human.
Exactly.
You know, I leave it be. I mean, we all go through our days, but it's just like, we just got to keep it pushing, honestly. I mean, I can't let that make me curl up in a hole, like,
and stop doing what you're doing.
Yeah. So it's just like,
right.
I just don't give in.
Okay. So can you share any upcoming projects or roles that you're working on? Or is that a secret?
It's not really a secret. I did tell you that I'm having a comedic skit come out with this boy named Capri Fernandez. He's the comedian.
I know of him.
Yes.
Okay, how was that?
That was
is
really.
He from Queens too?
No, he's from Brooklyn.
So he's from Brooklyn.
He's from Brooklyn. Shout outs to Brooklyn. But I'm from Queens, so big shout outs to Big Queens.
I cannot wait to see that. He's funny.
No, he's really funny. So when we did it, so we shot it in Brooklyn. My sister hosts like party events. R&B events. Her event is called Strictly R&B. So she had a party, and the premise of the story was like in the party. So my homeboy was like, yo, I really want you to do this. I got Capri on it. I was like, oh, you got Capri on it? It's comedy. So I wanted to do something with comedy. Yeah. So we shot it at my sister's party because he needed a party space.
Yeah.
And, you know, to get approvals and permits for these things could be such a hassle. So it was easy. When we shot it, we had a ball.
I can imagine.
It's edited now. I saw it. It's about an 8-minute. It's a short, but it's 3 parts. So this is part 1. So we're going to have 3 parts. So there's 2 more parts coming out. It's called Her Story versus History. So it's like history versus, you know, the double entendre of history. Yeah. So it's like, you know, it's a comedic thing on like my view on how he views me and how he view and how and how I view him. So it's pretty funny. So that's coming out. The trailer should be dropping tomorrow, and then the whole YouTube link and the whole thing should be coming out on Friday.
That's exciting.
And then I'm supposed to be shooting something on Saturday, an independent short, which is going to be pitched to major networks.
Okay.
But I can't really tell you the title of that or who I'm working with.
That's fine.
Because that's more of a secret.
It's going to happen.
Yes, that's more of a secret. That's
so
a lead role. And yeah, we're supposed to be shooting that in Brooklyn on Saturday. So after this, I got to like go home and go study my lines because I got a few lines, but that's about 10 pages. But, and then I'm just actively auditioning. The industry is slow right now. I don't know if you heard, but SAG, my union, was on strike for about 5 months last year. Mm-hmm. And I think we just got off like November. So during the 5 to 4 months of strike, there wasn't any money being generated. Yeah. So producers didn't get any money from anything or like make any money from anything. So it's like a little slow right now because it's the ripple effect of the strike. Mm-hmm. So hopefully financially it will pick up and I'll get more auditions, because on a regular day for me, like on a week, like I get about 3 to 4 auditions a week.
Oh, wow.
That's a regular week for me.
So would you say this is like your full-time job?
Yes, it's mentally draining. That's why I don't have a job.
Listen,
it's so much work. They give me like 9-10 pages. I gotta do a turnaround in like 2 to 3 days. I gotta get a reader. I gotta do the whole equipment thing. I gotta do a self-tape. I'm so used to it though. This is just muscle now.
No,
so
literally.
It really, for another person, they will never understand it, but I know how to navigate my social life, being a A1 aunt. I'm like an auntie mommy, and then like taking care of my parents and my family, taking care of myself, showing up for me, going to the gym, doing my auditions, still hustling, doing side stuff to make money. So like, but I'm used to it.
It's working out.
Yeah. But now it's been like calm. So I'm like, what is this? I've been getting like one audition every like 2 weeks. So it's been
and
like
that's okay because it's not on your time, it's on God's time. So
it is.
It's gonna work out.
So we know it's gonna happen. Everything will work out, which you're so reassuring.
No, seriously, because I honestly believe, Ashley, like I really feel like you're like going places and like what you've done and like just like how you carry yourself. Like I really feel like it's gonna work out. I'm not just saying that. Like I really feel like it's gonna work out.
Because you've been working real hard since Hampton. You took that major seriously. I was playing around in school. Like I was like, yeah, I want to do radio stuff. I'm studying journalism, but I really just always wanted to act. I'm just here to make sure I go to school for real. But I used to see you running around with your little kit, doing your little projects. I think we had some classes together with Butler.
Yes.
Shout out to Professor Butler.
Shout out to you, Allie Ryan Butler.
Like, he's a vibe. But
Hampton taught me everything that I know right now. You know, in my first class with Professor Leonard, and then I had a class with
oh my God, I love
Dr.
him.
Carr. You know,
Carr, she's a vibe.
Just like the production.
Williams, you had Williams?
Yes.
Strict, but she was great. She put it in us.
Learning, you know, like little things like different shots, like don't move, don't pan too much, like how to set up a tripod. I remember we had a lesson where we were timed on how to like do like a cord, like you know, put the cord
I remember
together.
all that, girl.
All of that, you know, helped
B-roll, getting B-roll. I used to be out in the field. I had to go out in the field and get real news stories.
Jack 20.
It was junior year or senior year, senior year.
But we learned Final Cut Pro, you know,
I learned how to edit.
Everything.
All this stuff helped me with my acting now because when I do my self-tapes and stuff.
You can do it yourself.
Or like certain little editing stuff, I'm not slow with it like some people.
How do you think I can do all this myself?
That's what I'm saying. Like I could low-key set up a tripod and like get the camera ready. Focus it. Remember, there was a time I didn't even focus. That little ball, you had to focus.
Listen, there's little steps that matter to make things what they are. And I really just have to shout out Hampton for,
I do.
You know, really
Hampton
honing
University.
me and helping me get to where I am today. So, lastly, everyone that I speak to always asks them for advice that they can give to aspiring people that want to be like them. So, what's some advice that you can provide to aspiring actresses or actors?
Advice. Okay, when you do make it or get a really big check, get a financial advisor.
Yeah.
Because the IRS is coming for you. I wish somebody told me about this, Uncle Sam. No, but I think an advice I would give is like, you know, walk in all your rooms with an aligned like calling. I think for me, I don't know if this would work for everybody, but staying spiritually in tune is the only way you can stay sound in this industry. This industry is very uncertain. You could book today and not book for another 3 years. You could book today and book, and then and no one wants you for 10 years. It's so up and down. And I think just making sure you do a lot of self-love, self-care, have a life outside of this career.
Know yourself. Just
so that you could stay abreast. Like I have a life outside of acting. Acting is a lot of who I am and what I do every day.
But it's not all you.
It's not all me.
Yeah.
I go back home to Jamaica a lot. I'm always with my nieces and nephews. I always hang out with my friends. I'm always with my sister. I have a social life. I'm always, you know, feeding into my family with my mom. I think just staying grounded so you're like level-headed is good. And then when you do, you know, get these auditions, have confidence. You know, don't think about who else you're going up against or who else is in the room with you. Just know what's for you will be for you. Timing is everything. I used to think that if I got Average Joe like years ago, I would have been bigger than, you don't know that. So, you know, just eliminate all those hypotheticals because how it is written is what it will be. So I think just like living in the moment and staying in tune in this career is super important. And then like having unwavering faith, like unwavering faith is what I think all these artists should be praying for because we don't know what's next.
You never
but
know.
If you have the unwavering positivity that God will align you, that your ancestors will align you, that you what you put out is what you're going to give in, I think you could go throughout your career a lot less stressed.
I agree.
It's mentally draining to get a script, dissect a character, be this whole toxic person, good person, bad person, somebody that's not close to self at all. I get roles that pull my limbs. I mean, I get auditions that really like could take a toll. You got to dig deep into past things that to recall emotions that you probably don't want to do. So I think it's just really important to just stay level-headed, stay in tune with your spiritual, stay grounded, and just know that, have confidence, like, you know, something else is gonna come, something major will come. Like right now, if I was to tell you, I don't know what's next for anything I have after those 2 projects I told you, I literally don't know what's gonna go on with my life. Other people would be like, what do you mean you don't know what's next?
But
This
you
is
know,
just
because
the
you're in the
life.
industry.
I'm in the industry. And I also know I have God in me. I have a grandmother who's working in a different realm really hard for me, who I have purpose. I think that's another thing. If you're just doing this for yourself, you might have to dig deeper because you might need more purpose than this. Because if you're just doing it for you, it might not satisfy you enough. And you might always want to know what's next, and you might not be grateful for what you've done.
Live in the moment.
Yeah. So I think when I have a higher purpose, a higher reason of why I'm doing this, who am I doing this for, it's not just all about self. You go about your auditions differently. You go about how like you take rejection differently. You go about how to just navigate the uncertainty differently because you're just more grounded. So I could take anything really and truly. I just keep it pushing, you know, and that's how, just keep it pushing, have God align, and get a financial advisor. So you know what to do with your money. They don't tell you about that stuff. So get a lawyer. I have a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Be smart. Work with the people around you. A lot of people think because I did this show or did stuff, or they see my IMDb, oh, you done like, I'm too good for, I won awards, I'm too good for certain things. And I'm like, I'm not. If you have a camera and an iPhone and you got a good script, we could work together. We should put out our own material. You should constantly be working on your own material. If you yourself don't know how to write, like I'm not the best writer. I might could write something and then my friend could tweak it, enhance it, and make it the most elaborate script. Even do that. If you have a storyline but don't feel like you could write it, give it to somebody who you think could. Give it to somebody who you think you could shoot it. You don't have to do it all, but like always work around you so you could feel like you're constantly working. Because if you're sitting at home for 6 months on end and you haven't done any acting work, you could feel like down on yourself.
What's going on?
But if you work with yourself and work with your peers, you constantly feel like something's going on. So, I mean, that's a big lump sum of advice, but I think just working with people around you, you're never too good for anything, no matter what. Knowing what to do with your money when you do get your money, and just staying aligned, like knowing that what's for you will be for you. It's so much easier said than done, but don't ever give up. If a dream is in you, that's God. And I just don't feel like you should ever turn away from it. I don't think you'll ever find true happiness. I tried to stray away from acting multiple times.
But you come right back.
And I couldn't. So it speaks for itself. So it's something I clearly need to be doing and want to be doing. And I think if that's what you have in you, you're not going to worry about the money. That will just come. and it came like right before a big birthday for me. So I was just like, wow, like God has blessed me in so many ways.
All that cash, all that paper.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
well, thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank you for having me, Ash. This is so cute. From one Jamaican Queens girl to another. Oh, this is